Joining us right now is AFPI Senior Fellow and the Chairman of the China Policy Initiative, D.C. International Advisory CEO, and former Deputy National Counsel Advisor for Dick Cheney, Steve Yates, is here. Steve, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. Unfortunately, this administration is failing to keep China accountable for all of this. They totally covered up what was going on initially with COVID and have yet to been forced to explain how a deadly pandemic leaked from the Wuhan lab.
Oh, good morning, Maria. It's absolutely true that too many people in our country and too many people at national leadership levels in politics were completely blinded by their lust for a political contest in 2020 to distort what was obvious reality of where this virus came from. It was also obvious that Chinese leadership under Xi Jinping deliberately decided to lock down domestically and allow it out into the world. Then they lied and manipulated the World Health Organization and got the World Health Organization to lie and manipulate things that affected, as the congressman correctly points out, millions of people, trillions of dollars in cost, and he's just talking about the cost of what the government spent in response, not the economic loss and human loss that that all created. So certainly a government willing to do those things is not our friend, and it's appropriate that he try to draw this line about them compensating, but they haven't even acknowledged responsibility and obviously aren't seeking good relations with us right now.
Well, I want to get your take on really what this is about, because you're the former national deputy in looking in terms of security, national security, looking at the adversaries of America. I spoke with the chairman of the House Select Committee on China yesterday. Mike Gallagher joined me on this program to discuss the potential of China working on a bioweapon. He said he could not comment on whether it was a bioweapon, but it's a possibility. We've heard also from Brad Wenstrup, and the possibility for China to invade Taiwan as well. Watch this.
2024 is the year I'm looking at. Obviously, we have a presidential election, so we're naturally going to be a little internally divided and distracted. But more importantly, Taiwan has a presidential election. And so I think those two things conspire to convince Xi Jinping he can't achieve this via political warfare, so he might choose the kinetic or hard power option. So 2024 really is the year of maximum danger, in my opinion.
So, Steve, that was pretty stunning, what Mike Gallagher just said there. He's expecting China to invade Taiwan in 2024. What is the CCP's goals here, and was that a bioweapon?
Well, there have been multiple bioweapons that they've used. I mean, if you look at what happened with COVID, the effect was that of a bioweapon. Right. And if you look at what's happening with fentanyl coming across an open border and attacking our communities and our families, that is also a significant bioweapon. Mike Gallagher is also correct that politics in the United States and in Taiwan are going to be an environment where you assume people will take hardline positions on China, and so they might not have the political means of influence they do under other times. I think that at the moment, the most important thing is that the United States affirm a commitment to arm those who want to protect themselves and encourage allies to do more, like Japan, to increase deterrence. I don't see any inclination from the administration that they're serious about doing that right now. And right now is when they need to be moving.
Right, and that's why we're constantly questioning whether or not Joe Biden is compromised, given the fact that he's taken $10 million from Chinese officials tied to the CCP. But look, we've been studying China on this program for many years, and we know that the CCP has been buying up ports throughout the world so that they have this premier spot in terms of trade, so because they own the port. They've also been buying up farmland. You're traveling to South Dakota this Monday to meet with Governor Kristi Noem and to address legislative leaders on China's Governor Noem introduced a bill to create a state board. That board will review proposed transactions by foreign entities, including China, when they want to buy big, important things like land. Noem is also signing an executive order last year that banned TikTok on state government-issued devices. So she's certainly getting tough on China. Tell us the threat in terms of the CCP buying up all of this land and all of the ports that they've acquired as well.
Well, thank you, Mary. This is a very, very important development in the United States, and I strongly support any state leaders who want to step into this breach and do what they can within their authorities rather than having to make us wait for the federal government to get together and bridge its partisan divide to take action. And so what we have here, we have a government in China, like we've discussed, that doesn't respect human dignity or quality control. Even the Chinese people themselves don't trust their government in this regard. They had a baby formula scandal where parents were terrified to feed their children because there was poison in baby formula inside China itself. And so if they're willing to release COVID, they're willing to release fentanyl, they're willing to poison their own the kids because of lack of quality control, why in the world would we allow them to have access to our agricultural land and influence our supply chains? They're not a responsible actor. They're different from every other government and entity around the world right now. And so we have to start putting in rational systems to monitor who's doing what with whom and allow the majority will within our states and all of our states and territories to protect the American people, our families, and our jobs.
Yeah, it's a great point. We will be watching your meeting with Governor Noem, Steve. This is an issue that certainly we care much about, as do our viewers. Steve, thank you.